Welcome to Discover the Finger Lakes. And this is a special episode for this month. And Brady is not here with me. And so we're going to show you some places that you've not seen before. And some of you have. That is if you live in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And if you know where location I'm at, comment on the channel. We're going to have special guests and show you some things in and around the two great states of Arkansas and Oklahoma. Brady's not with me. We'll be thinking about you, buddy. And let's get going. Well, I told you that we would be in a place you might recognize. We are in Fort Smith, and we are going to start this episode. Now, we got plans. We're going to see quite a bit of stuff. And before we go any further, I want to introduce you to our special guest. Where you at?
Over here hiding, recording you walking around.
Here's our special guest.
Hey everybody, welcome to frigid Fort Smith, Arkansas. We're out here. Yeah, I'm sure everybody up there in New York knows James here is a crazy redneck. Well, I'm even crazier because we're both out here, 18-degree temperatures, wind chill's about 10, and we're doing this video.
Yep, and so we are at the National Historic Fort Smith National Historic Site. And so we also have a couple other people with us that you might know that are going to be our special guests. Richard's wife, Gina.
Hi.
And then my wife, Elaine.
Man.
So I hope you're ready for an adventure, because we're going to give you one. Get ready. We're going to go see some stuff.
Oh yeah. And don't forget, you got his view. We're going to have my view as well on my channel. Look me up, Uncle Grizzly. It's Uncle Grizzly's Country Corner. Look forward to seeing you there. And don't forget, for both of us, if you haven't already done it, subscribe, leave us a like, leave us a comment. Like Elaine said, share. And also, don't forget, once you hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified whenever we upload a new video.
Yeah, that's right. And so let's show you what Arkansas and Oklahoma has to offer. One of the places that you want to visit when you come to the fort is the gallows. Isaac Charles Parker became known as the hanging judge of the American Old West due to the large number of convicts that he sentenced to death. In those years on the federal bench, Judge Parker tried 13,490 cases. In more than 8,500 of these cases, the defendant either pleaded guilty or was convicted at trial. Parker sentenced 160 people to death. 79 of them were executed. This is the courthouse and jail as it stands today. The original barracks of Fort Smith still stand. The structure was used by both Confederate and U.S. armies, and later by U.S. District Judge Isaac Parker. And the courthouse and barracks went through many changes through the years. Now the next building we're going to go see is called the Commissary. And when the second Fort Smith was constructed in 1838, it was originally designed to have 5 bastions. It soon became apparent that there was not a need for such a strong defensive fort. And so the northwest corner was converted into a storehouse, the Commissary. And so now, the building itself inside shows what it looked like as food storage. And the food was supplied there for later transported troops, 49ers heading to California, and fighting soldiers in the U.S.-Mexican War also drew rations from this very building. This next location is the officer's garden. And all you see is just the foundation of a building. But behind where the building used to be, there is a garden where they used to plant and grow produce. And the garden is still here. 1817, the first Fort Smith was built on the junction of the two rivers, Arkansas and the Potomac River. And founded by Major William Bradford in the protection of the pioneers and the American Indians. Named after General Thomas Smith, commander of U.S. Army Rifle Regiment, abandoned in 1824, and it was first established on December 25th, 1817. And so now we are at the location of the first Fort Smith fort. And as you can see, the foundation is the only thing that's left. But when you come here, you will notice markers that say what was in the location of the fort, like the magazine here. And somewhere over here was a dining room, I believe. When you come, just look for the markers. Now, when the soldiers first arrived, they struggled, and they had to do their own food, and a lot of the soldiers died from lack of food and lack of warmth because of the cold. This picture shows what the fort looked like after it was built. And see, you have the Poto River over to your left. And then the Arkansas River in front. And we will show you a closer look at the river and what it looks like. In the 1830s, the United States government forcibly removed the southeastern American Indians from their homelands and relocated them on lands in present-day Oklahoma. This tragic event is referred to as the Trail of Tears, as over 10,000 Indians died during removal or soon upon arrival. And this is the Trail of Tears exhibit. And the map shows clearly the nations, Indian nations, where they were at to their current Indian territory now. A sad reminder of how humans can be to each other. And the exhibit shows each nation. There is a plaque talking about each nation that was affected by this terrible tragedy. Well, now that you've seen the historic part of Fort Smith, my hometown, you should come and see for yourself what Fort Smith has to offer. It was once said by a former mayor that Fort Smith is worth living in. The Battle of Mazard Prairie. On July 27, 1864, Confederate forces stormed down from the nearby mountains and virtually annihilated a battalion of Union cavalry on Mazard Prairie, a vast grassland on the outskirts of Fort Smith, Arkansas. The Battle of Mazard Prairie was one of the most complete Southern victories of the Civil War in Arkansas. It also involved one of the last great open field cavalry charges in American history and resulted in one of the few documented cases of Union soldiers scalping Confederate dead from the battle. As Confederate troops swept north to the Arkansas River during the weeks following the Red River Campaign, they quickly learned that these men were camped in an exposed position in their prairie picnic grove on Mazard Prairie. When it was over, the Confederates had achieved total victory. They killed, wounded, or captured nearly two full companies of Union soldiers, seized hundreds of weapons, captured the herd of horses, and helped themselves to Union supplies. Also, when you come to this park, there is a phone number you can call as you do a self-guided tour. There will be a voice that will tell you the complete tour and the battle. Okay, so you've seen a little bit of downtown Fort Smith, the historical part of Fort Smith. You've seen a battlefield. And now we're going to show you something that has a personal thing with me. Behind me, about a couple blocks away, is where I lived as a kid in the 70s. In the next street over, Colony Lane, which is just straight over there, is where an old buddy of mine lives. Now, we used to play here, and this is called the Kavanaugh Indian Mound. You see behind me. It's at least, it was at least put here by the Caddo Indians, approximately 1100 BC. And I'll tell you more in-depth story about it. But this is history, and at one time, this right here, it was just a complete drop-off, right here and here. And you've seen that they've got it where it's protected now. There was a cave here when I was a kid. There was also a cemetery on top. Now, I was always told that it's an Indian burial mound, but it's not an Indian burial mound. It is a platform mound. So this is just a prelude to what we're going to show you next. And so we hope you enjoy this little section here. I stand corrected. This Indian mound was built by the Caddo Indians, but it was 1100 AD. Now, the Caddo Indians enter written history in chronicles of the Hernando de Soto expedition here in Arkansas, which describes encounters during the Spanish passage through southwest Arkansas. When the Spaniards crossed the threshold to Caddo country on June 20th, 1542, they entered a nation uniquely distinguished by language, social structure, tradition, and a way of life. Now, in this frame, you see a direct line from the Kavanaugh Mound to our next location at the Spiral Mounds in Oklahoma. When you come to Spiral Mounds, please take the tour of the museum. There are so many artifacts here and things to look at. We just did not show you everything here, but it is a must-see when you visit Oklahoma and the Spiral Mounds. Spiral Mounds is a major northern Caddoan, Mississippian archaeological site located in present-day eastern Oklahoma. The 80 acres site lies near the Arkansas River in Fort Coffee, 7 miles north of the town of Spiro. Between the 9th and 15th centuries, the local indigenous people created a powerful religion and political center culturally linked to the Mississippian ideology interaction sphere. Spiro was a major western outpost of Mississippian culture, which dominated the Mississippi Valley and its tributaries for centuries. Spiro Mounds is under the protection of the Oklahoma Historical Society and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. After taking the tour of the museum, you will want to get a booklet which shows the map of the trail, because some of the signs that they have are hard to see, and it's best to go by that. Our next stop, as you see here, is a reconstructed house. Grass thatched roofs were typical of the later historic Wichita and Cato, but their houses were round with high-pitched roofs. In a closer observation of this house, it had been burned at one time. So this next part, just before we got to the next mound, we saw some deer off way far where we could hardly see them. Over there in that area somewhere. Just hard to see. This mound right here is called the Craig Mound. It is the second largest mound on the site and the only burial mound. It is located about 1,500 feet southeast of the plaza. A cavity created within the mound about 10 feet high and 15 feet wide allowed for almost perfect preservation of fragile artifacts made of wood, shell, and copper. The conditions in this hollow space were so favorable that objects made of perishable materials such as basketry, woven fabric of vegetal and animal fibers, lace, fur, and feathers were preserved inside. Now, over to the left of the mound, in the prairie there, is where the Spiro people had their crops. So we just want to let everybody know that that you see a lot of New York on our episodes, but Oklahoma and Arkansas has some of the most beautiful landscapes. This time of year it's not all green, but it's still, you know, beautiful to see. Another woodpecker. Yeah, we've been hearing woodpeckers up here. Brown Mound, the largest platform mound, is located on the eastern side of the plaza. It had an earthen ramp that gave access to the summit from the north side. Here atop Brown Mound and the other mounds, the town's inhabitants carried out complex rituals centered especially on the deaths and burials of Spiro's powerful rulers. Keep in mind when you come to the Spiro Mounds, you're not going to be able to see all the mounds that's on the map. A lot of them have just been or disappeared because of erosion. Also, some of the areas where the trees are were old structures. And of course, there is a nature trail to walk. And have a little respect when you come. Do not leave your trash. Do not climb on the mountains. Have a little respect. Well, we hope you enjoyed this look at my home state of Arkansas. We showed you quite a bit of historical places, and where we showed you the last part was the Spiral Mounds, which I've never been to before. And I want to thank my friend Uncle Grizzly. You got something to say?
Hey guys, thanks for having me along, James. I've really enjoyed having you down here with us.
Yeah.
Hope all your viewers enjoy the sights that we've showed them from the last couple of days.
Yep.
Look forward to next time. We've already got plans for your next trip, don't we?
Yes, we're thinking
We're
about.
not going to tell you just yet.
Yeah, we're going to wait.
Be surprised.
We may do I don't know, maybe a preview or something later on. But if we surprise everybody, I think that would be great.
We'll just give them a little hint.
Good idea.
It's Nordic.
Yes.
Now stop and think. We're in Oklahoma and Arkansas, mainly known for Civil War and Native American. What in the heck would Vikings be doing in this area?
That's very interesting.
We might show you guys.
Yeah. Very interesting. We'll have to work on that. And so tell us a little bit about your page on YouTube.
Well, I've got Uncle Grizzly's Country Corner. You can look me up. Just look up Uncle Grizzly. It's kind of a mishmash of anything and everything. I don't exactly have one particular topic that I go along and follow. You know, you've got people that make stuff and that's all they do. You got people that do travel videos, that's all they do. You got people that do Hot Wheels videos, that's all they do. I can't stay tied down to just one topic, so I kind of bounce around. I've got some how-tos, I've got some cooking videos, I've got some travel videos, of course, like this one.
Yeah, good.
But it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I just try to get a video up whenever I can.
Okay, very good. So keep an eye out. And I have discovered the Finger Lakes. We are subscribed to his channel, and you can find it on there as well. You don't have a Facebook page or anything yet?
No, I don't have a Facebook page. Right now, just trying to focus on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Get over here in frame.
Sorry.
But right now, trying to focus on the YouTube channel is just fine for me. I'm not like a bunch of these people that think they've got to be on every bit of social media.
Yeah.
If people on YouTube want to find me, they'll know how to find me. Maybe later on I'll throw up a small Facebook page or something like that, but that's for in the future. Right now I'm just happy with my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Uncle Grizzly, you can look me up. Like he said, he's got his channel already linked to mine, or like to mine and everything. Look us up. Don't forget, if you're new to the channels, hit the right down here, right here. Hit the subscribe button, then hit that little bell that pops up right over here. Leave us both likes,
Yep.
comments. We try to respond to all the comments we get. We're not like some of the channels where we just read them and then ignore them.
Yeah, yeah.
But we try to respond to all we get, and I want to thank you for having me on your channel.
Okay, very good. All right, until next time, we really enjoyed this visit. Brady was very missed. I think he would have liked this except for the cold. So, Bud, you were missed. And until next time, we'll see you next month. Goodbye. Next time on Discover the Finger Lakes, we take you to a nature preserve and walk in a little bit of snow. And then we take you to another place with a lot of snow. And finally, we take you to Penn Yan, New York, to a museum. Thanks for watching.